Every year at Barton Academy, students, faculty, and staff depart the campus for a 2-week winter break. But there are always an unfortunate few who have nowhere to go for the holidays. They're known as the Holdovers.
Hey guys, welcome to my sci-fi review series. And this time, Rascal and I are covering the 2023 movie, The Holdovers.
Yay!
Now, this movie is set between 1970 and 71, and it stars Paul Giamatti as a strict classics teacher at a New England boarding school, and he's forced to chaperone a handful of students who have nowhere to go on Christmas break when they're left by their families. But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe with Kids Place of Future podcast, and don't forget the mashups and clips and advice and other things.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us again. This movie we decided to watch because when I saw the trailer, I said, this looks like it's going to be good. And I have a 100% track record.
So far, yes.
And when I say this looks like it's going to be good, it is. We were waiting to see it for free because for a while you had to pay to see it. Finally, Prime had it available for free.
Right.
And we watched it, so that's why it wasn't covered last year. But I don't think that should matter because this is an excellent movie.
Yes.
And if you haven't seen it, we're sure it's going to become one you want to see again and again. We plan on watching it this year.
Yes.
Again as well.
Yes. And it was also one of those movies that had many Oscar nominations in the past year, and it is pretty well deserved because we kept hearing people saying you need to see The Holdovers, you need to see The Holdovers. It's such a good film, it's such a great film, and we weren't sure why because sometimes we hear that and we're like, why did you like this? But for this, you can at least say it was warranted. This was unlike anything we expected, and it was just a really, really good movie.
Now, for those of you not familiar with The Holdovers, it's a comedy drama directed by Alexander Payne, written by David Hemingson, and as we mentioned, starring Paul Giamatti and a few other people that you know. It was released originally in August, believe it or not, of 2023.
Oh.
And Telluride, and then in October, believe it or not, in the US. But it is absolutely positively a Christmas holiday movie.
Yes.
It has a runtime of 133 minutes. It had a budget of $13 million and earned over $45 million at the box office.
Wow. Well, see, there's another movie that didn't have to cost $200 million.
Very true. And it received very positive reviews and was named as one of the top 10 films of 2023 by the National Board of Review and the American Film Institute. And as you mentioned, it received many accolades, and it actually had 2 wins at the Golden Globe Awards and the BAFTA Awards as well.
Wow, okay.
And it also received 5 nominations in the 96 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Actor for Giamatti, and one of the stars, Divine Joy Randolph, actually won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress.
Oh, wow. So glad they got a lot of recognition for this movie. And I think the biggest thing that stood out, I think right when we started, is that it seemed like they tried to make this feel as much as a 70s movie as possible, or at least taking place in that time period. They even so far as to get the old logo and intro for I think NBC.
Yes.
They got the very old intro and put it into the film. They used music from the time period. They used a slight filter to make it look like it's an older film. They used text in an opening like an older film, and it's shot like it's not even a modern film. So they really did everything possible to keep it looking like it's a movie from that time period.
The clothing, the accessories they wore, the foods, the setting, the housing, everything. You're absolutely right. I'm so glad you brought that up. Even the poster that you see is like a 1970s poster.
Yes.
So it's really great how they immerse themselves into it, because you've mentioned a lot of times how a director or producer will do a movie in a time period and decide there are things they don't like about that time period.
Yeah.
So they take them out and pretend they didn't exist.
Right.
Or replace it with something modern.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that here.
Right. And I think that's a great thing that they did in here. And the things that were going on at the time, they made sure they didn't focus on huge issues or politics or anything like that of the time. They kept it straightforward about what was going on with the main characters. Not the world around them, just the characters in the world.
True. One thing that sticks out is Paul Giamatti's character, Paul Hunnam, had a lazy eye. And they actually used a special contact that wouldn't stay still so that he could get that effect, as you've seen him in many things, including Fred Claus. And he doesn't have a lazy eye.
Right.
So again, they really did everything they could to make the characters and the setting and the events, everything authentic to the time period and to the way the script was written.
Right.
And I love that because we see so many movies where someone doesn't want to be blonde, someone doesn't want to wear a wig, a short person's tall, a tall person's short.
Right.
So many opposites and things that just don't fit the vision the writer had.
Right.
And it looks like they did everything they could to support that vision, and it paid off.
Right.
Not only just in viewing when you're watching it, but also in the awards and accolades it received.
Right.
And another thing about the movie is every character had a problem. Every character had a flaw.
Yes.
There were no perfect characters.
That's true. No matter the teachers or the students or the parents or whatever. Yes. And those come into play as you're watching the movie and you're seeing all of them interact while they're all stuck together. And you find out, the ones who've been misbehaving, you kind of found out why they've been having this attitude towards him and adults in that way, because the parents unfortunately want to deal with them, period. They want to have their own lives. They want to drop them off, or they'll think that, well, they're delinquents, they're bad kids, they need to be taught something. And some of them do, understandably, but a lot of them just want to get rid of the kids and just be by themselves, pretend they didn't have kids for a holiday. And it was like more understandable why they were acting out like that. They still addressed that the actions were wrong, the language they were saying was wrong, disrespecting the teachers was wrong. They make sure you know the action is still wrong, but you now understand why they act crazy, because basically their own parents or families don't want to be around them. And they end up bonding with Paul throughout the story because he seemed the only one that genuinely cared about them, even if he acted like he was a really stuck-up guy.
Yes. The movie has a bittersweet ending. It's an ending we didn't like. However, it did fit the story and what would have happened during that time period.
Yeah.
Because laws and things are very different from now.
Right.
And it's very bittersweet. It's not how you want to see it end. It's not what you want to happen. And it's very sad.
Yeah.
They try to have it where it makes a positive impression on the student. But on the audience that's watching it, you're not happy about how it ends. But again, you understand when you're watching, unlike a lot of movies, the message the writer was trying to convey.
Right.
And he does convey it, but it's just done in a very bittersweet way.
Yeah, true.
So let's quickly go over the cast. We already mentioned Paul Giamatti. Dominic Sessa as Angus Tully. He's a student as Holdovers. Divine Joy Randolph is Mary Lamb. She's the cafeteria manager and a bereaved mom. She lost her son who was in the military. Brady Hefner is Teddy Kuntz, Agnes's enemy and another of the Holdovers. Ian Dolly is Alex Eulerman, a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, another one of the 5 Holdovers. Jim Kaplan is Yijun Park, international student who's also one of the Holdovers from Korea.
Right.
Michael Provost is Jason Smith. He's the Barton football team's quarterback, and he's the last of the 5 Holdovers.
So it's kind of like Breakfast Club in a way, too.
Right, and then you have Andrew Garman, Stephen Thorne, Gillian Vigman, Tate Donovan, Darby Lily Lee Stack, Kelly Alcoy, and Colleen Clinton. The only thing that counts against it, and Rascal and I have talked about this before, where you have movies now, they don't get to leave their impression lasting for a while, staying in pop culture for a while, because people move on to the next big thing.
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, the modernity of when it was released counts against it, because no one's talked about it this season. You
That's
haven't
true.
seen it being advertised. It's like it didn't ever
Yeah,
happen,
they're
and
on
it doesn't
to
exist.
they're on to what our movies come out this year, because there's so many movies coming out all the time, every month, every year. There's so many movies that should have been pop culture for years, unfortunately only stay within a certain group or people that want to give the movies a chance.
Well, this is one. If you've seen the Holdovers, let us know in the comments. Did you love it? Did it leave an impression on you? If it's unlike any movie you've ever seen, let us know in the comments. If you haven't seen it, we definitely recommend you watch it. To our knowledge, it's still available on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
I don't know if it's anywhere else. Hopefully, you'll be able to see it. If you do, come back. Tell us what you think.
Right. And be sure to like, subscribe, notification buttons on upcoming reviews, hacks, videos, and so much more.
Yes, and thank you so much for joining us, Rascal. We are always happy to have you as always.
Oh, you're welcome.
If you haven't already, check out her channel. There's so much content there, including her AU of Wish, which some of you may have abandoned by now, but we're staying strong with it.
No, you did.
And part 4 should be coming out soon.
Yes, it will be.
And we hope you're enjoying your holiday season. Thank you for taking the time out to join us for this review. We hope you'll enjoy this movie and be able to add it to your list of movies you enjoy each year.
Yes.
As always, whether it's Pause, Rascal Entertainments, or SoFab, you are special.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Rascal.
I'm Julie.
Have a fantastic day.
Continue to be happy, healthy, whole, and also under my specials. See you next time. Happy holidays.
This is your Rubicon. Do not cross the Rubicon.
The Holdovers.